So hello and welcome. My name's Steve Nobel, and today I'm speaking with Alice Heath on Horus codes and the rebirth of the solar human. Now, Alice is the founder of Aligned Presence, a high-level space of visionary creators ready to build from purpose, precision, power, and presence. Over the years, Alice has developed many original frameworks, energetic technologies, and tools that support real life or real world creation, I should say. And part of her work is about embracing the emergence of the sacred feminine and also the emerging consciousness of crystals. I think she's very keen on crystals. She teaches in the space where cosmic intelligence meets embodied presence. Her website is aliceheath.com. Hi, Alice.
Hello, Steve. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh, pleasure. So, just to let people know about you, how did you get into all this lovely, beautiful, flowing world of spirit and all the rest of it?
Oh, I'm one of those lovely, lucky souls that came onto this planet or came into this planet already remembering. So you could have found me as a child in the 90s drawing the Ankh symbol, drawing the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra, and really, really drawn and remembering all this wisdom. But it didn't really piece itself together properly until I'd gone through some very human initiations of my own. And like everyone I think goes through, we all have lots of challenges through life to break down parts of us, to rebirth parts of us. And so for me, I was very, very psychic as a child. I didn't close it down. I kept it open. And as time progressed and the more experiences I had through my teens, through my early 20s, I traveled a lot. I had lots of, lots of dark nights very early on. And
Yeah.
after that, I started receiving initiation after initiation, direct initiation from beings like Isis and Mary Magdalene and Yeshua and Serapis Bey. And they would come in on a fortnightly frequency. So every 2 weeks at one point, I was going through some type of initiation. And after that happened, things were awakening within me. And then I was going through embodiment practices, learning, getting directed here, there, and everywhere. And all that kind of led to where I am right now.
Amazing. How is it that you managed not to close down your psychic abilities? Because most of us, I remember being a kid and
Mm.
drawing and reading stories about the pyramids. No idea why I was so drawn, and
Mm.
but I was, and but I did close it down because my parents were really not up for it, nor was my school. How did you manage to
Mm.
get through it?
Yeah, no, for sure. And you know what? It wasn't really any different for me as well. But I do believe that with every generation that comes in, there's this little bit more of a resilience in the
Yeah,
DNA of being encoded, where it's like, okay, well, they can try and shut it down, but it's just not going to be able to,
yeah,
And it was something that was always very curious to me. It was almost a protective mechanism as well to be able to be psychic because it would forewarn me. There was a lot of prophecy that I was able to utilize and draw upon to keep me safe in certain situations as well. So
okay.
it was one of those where it was like it was more favorable and helpful to keep it open and then more curious and playful to be able to do that. So yeah,
Oh, amazing,
either that or I
amazing.
was too stubborn, one or the other.
Well, I remember because I did martial arts and as a kid,
Mm.
and as a teenager, and then I kind of walked away from it. But I went back to it as a having done a lot of this stuff and opened my intuition. And I remember going into the karate, the kind of ring, those kind of rings where you go in and fight. And it was
Mm.
calling on all kinds of power animals and intuition. And I kind
Mm.
of knew before the guy moved what he was going to do. And I
Yes.
won two gold medals in these championships. It was kind of that was a while ago though. I do that kind of stuff as well. The other thing I wanted to ask you, because I'm really curious about Serapis Bey, and there is
Mm.
a connection, of course, with the Egyptian thing. I do feel the calling, and I feel there's something I'm going to do. What's your connection with him like?
Oh, very deep. Serapis Bey is a great initiator, and he's a great initiator for women and men. But for me, he acted as a masculine counterpart to a lot of the experiences that I needed to have to awaken. So a lot of the golden and white codings that came in that opened up within me, it was Serapis Bey who was an emanation that came forth to actually offer those to me. So there was a period of time, especially 2019, 2021, where he was pretty much with me every single day. I could see him clear as day right next to me. And it's not that he's gone anywhere now, he's still right here. But he was more prevalent because there was more of a, this is the transmission you need to receive. This is what I need you to know. This is where I need you to research. This is where I need you to experience. Go and do it. You'll understand why after, you know?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
I feel
very,
something moving around as you say that. I can feel something. I might have to connect with this guy. Okay.
he's
I feel that
clearing over your shoulder right now.
he's been calling for a while. I can feel it. Yeah. Okay. Can I
Oh,
ask you about your connection to Horus and the Egyptian pantheon as a whole?
sure, 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 sure. For me, this is one of those things where I think everyone that you speak to will have some type of connection to some presence. And for a lot of us in the West, we get very drawn to Golden Egypt, ancient Egypt, and Atlantis, and how it all kind of intermingles. Now, for me, it stirs within my blood.
Yeah.
That's really what it feels like. And a lot of the lineages that we talk about, like the Rose lineage, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, that all comes from the Egyptian lineage, right? Which is all Atlantean anyway. Now, and various other cultures, right? For me, they were always, and I never understood why really initially, but they were always the initial beings that would come forth and greet me. They would remind me, they would speak their light language through me. And even before I knew who certain high priests, high priestesses, goddesses, gods were, they would come through, they would show me, they would take me maybe to an ascended part of Sirius or somewhere. And a prime example would be Maftet, cheetah looking goddess. And she came in this one vision journey I was on, and she took me to an ascended part of Sirius, to a temple. And there was an awakening that I had. And it's one of those where, once again, it's an undeniable connection. And when there is that resonance with certain beings, they are going to come. As long as your heart is open, they will come to you.
Yeah.
Because they're seated within you anyway. They're part of this planet, even though they're from the stars, they are part of this planet. And every being in Golden Egypt, they are of star lineage as well, right?
Yeah.
And
We
so
probably had tea on some Syrian temple somewhere, I'm sure. I hope
yeah,
they do tea. Got to have tea. Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
hope
have
so.
tea, yeah, tea, maybe some cacao, who knows? Yeah,
Probably.
a lot of fire usually for me, but that's more the Sekhmet energy. But yeah,
Oh, yeah, the
and
fiery
even
segment.
absolutely, and even now, you and I were joking before we started recording about the event that I just did in person. All the clairvoyants in the audience were like, "There's Isis right behind you. There's Mary Magdalene right behind you. There, they're with me, whether I call them in or not." And just like they are for a lot of people, they have a
Yeah.
lot of relevant teachings, codings, lessons, many, many things.
Well, I've connected a lot with a number of the goddesses and gods, and they are quite intense and fiery, I find.
Yes.
But I connected with one recently, and I was like, oh, the Hathor, goddess Hathor, and it felt like such a
Mhm.
different shift into
Yeah.
this soft energy, and it was like, oh, I need
Mm.
that, a little bit of that kind of yin holding,
Yes.
and of course she is connected to Sekhmet, but I felt I had the yin soft, which was nice.
And they
Sometimes we need a bit of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they all represent different aspects of different archetypes, right, as well. And this is kind of how these beings come to life through us, is through the archetypes that they represent. And so when you look at Hathor and the sensuality, the music, the beauty, the softness of that, it's a different archetype than what perhaps Sekhmet is going to offer, right? Different characteristic
Yeah.
of what a whole feminine energy might look like.
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
mean, I do love Sekhmet as well. I don't know if you've been to the London British Museum,
Yes, I think yes, yes. A couple of
but
years ago now.
there's three standing statues of Sekhmet in the museum, and I've stood
Mm.
there many times, and one of them feels alive, and the other two don't. So I've
Mm.
taken friends there, and psychic friends, and I've said, "What do you think about?" And they've said one of them's alive, and I went, "Yes, one of them's
Yeah.
alive." I don't
Yes.
understand why one's alive, but one
Mm.
seems. So I go and have a chat sometimes. But there we are.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
that's a great idea to do as well, because the thing is, and this is the same as with stones. with crystals, as it is with stones, is that they are alive, they are conscious beings. Their energy is perceived through the eyes of those perceiving them, but also they'll have gone through an attunement. So for a stone or a statue to be alive, like that one of 3 Sekhmets, there'll have been an imbuing of energy, a charging of energy, an attunement that's happened along the way somewhere to encapsulate her energy, you know, and that will be awakening. That will be awakening for everyone that lays eyes upon her. You know?
Yeah, I visit her from time to time to say hello. I do like her. But
Oh my gosh, so
can,
powerful.
can I ask you about Horus then, and the types
Yeah,
of initiation at this time with Horus, this
absolutely.
time of ascension? Because I do also feel Horus coming. I did resist him for a little while, but then I went, you know what? Okay, Horus, show me. And so we both had this connection. But what is your connection in terms of the initiations of Horus?
Do you know what? This is what I love about Horus, is that what Horus, or one of the things which he represents, because he represents a few things. So let's just like list those out first. So you have the sun child, that you have that Christed energy. But one of the things which he represents is the embodiment of the avatar within you.
Mm,
And this is, you know, this is why he is the son, right, of Isis. And she kept him away until he was strong enough and whole enough to face Set, right, who
mm,
killed Osiris.
yeah.
And, you know, the beauty about Horus and the initiations that he offers is that firstly, you have the discernment, you have the initiation of discernment, where you can
Mm,
start to see clearer, start to see through the illusion, see beyond, you know, see into the truth from beyond any falsehoods. You know, you start to detect and distortions, but not just in the world around you, but also in yourself. Now, this is actually a really powerful and poignant point to make, is that
mm,
it's not just in the outer world we see it. Horus's initiations are within, and they
mm,
have to be, because it's based on the principles of this planet, and one of which is as within, so without. So it's
mm,
almost like you see beyond the illusion within yourself as well, which can invite, like we mentioned before, dark nights, right? Because there has to be a rebirth process. There's other types of initiations where your inner sight is going to be activated, because of course we have the eye of Horus, which is the left eye, and you have the eye of Ra, which is the right?
mm,
And they both represent different things. But what I love about Horus is because he is the sun, right? Because he's the child, he's the sun. It's like
mm,
first you have the eye of Ra, right, which is the right one, which is the solar, the action, the clarity, forward movement. It's the masculine in that capacity. But the eye of Horus is a lunar eye. And what that translates to is that intuitive, psychic inner sight and deep receptiveness.
mm.
And why this is really important is because it brings a balance to both the left and right brain, to brings a balance and a coherence between the heart and the mind. And this is a level of balance that Horus is about balance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about many things. Abundance, like your beautiful meditation the other day, you brought in that 5D abundance. That was a Horus meditation because he
Mm,
is so equipped to bring that in. He's
mm,
also brings initiations of balance power, so balanced power there. So rather than being overly passive, rather than being aggressive, we find this sovereignty, we find this regality in this potent action that we choose to take,
mm.
because we are once again aligned with our heart and mind. You know,
Beautiful.
I could, I
Yes.
could, I could go on. I mean, there's the solar rebirth as well, and that's like letting the old blueprint of the body release so that the ancient original blueprint can come through, the more ascended version. You know, there are so many different types, but just to mention the themes, yeah.
How many initiations do you feel there are? Is there a set number, like several, or?
No, you know, I know some people like to kind of say there are one, two, three, four, five, six, however many, but for me, the way that I always understand it is you are always going to be going through the same main one. So let's say there's 4, right? For argument's sake, let's say I categorize it into 4: discernment, inner sight, balance of power, and solar rebirth.
Yeah.
You might go through one of those, or someone might go through one of those and have multiple versions of that same initiation that might feel completely different, but it's actually activating the same thing. It just needs to come from a different angle.
Mm,
That's the way I personally interpret it. And so to people that are asking about the number of them, have I done this initiation yet? I say, rather than checking them off, just see if you can be present with what it is that you're releasing and what it is that you're learning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good advice, really. I remember when I was interested in the Alice Bailey initiation type thing, I'm going, where am I? Which one have I done? And I thought, you know what? I think they're kind of not linear. They kind of move around as well. And
Oh,
so I wasn't sure.
absolutely.
But having like you, I've been through a number of dark nights. I don't like them, but I guess they are. I do feel the reboot of my system, but I really don't like them. And I hope
Mm.
I went through one which lasted 8 years, which I'm like, that
Wow.
surely must be the last one I'm going to go through, apart from the death
Mm.
process maybe. But yeah, 8 years was quite a long time. So
Yeah.
I do like the way you've described it. Feels very I feel very aligned with what you said. I particularly like the all of this inner work and this solar rebirth. Can you just say a little bit
Yeah.
more about that solar rebirth?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're solar charged, right? We're solar powered. This Earth and everything on this planet, like the body that we're here in, like we're more than the body. We know that, right? We don't need to repeat that over and over again. We're more than the body, but the body is the vehicle that we're here
Yeah.
in, and the body is made up of this planet. And this planet
Mm.
is nourished by the sun. So on a very basic level, the vessel that we're here in has to be nourished in the ways that it needs to be able to thrive. And it's only through that thriving that we can release the resistance that is blocking the flow of our aligned monadic self, right?
Yeah.
So if I was to define to me what the solar human might be, once again, just in a few personality traits or a few characteristics, someone who can stand in their truth without aggression, right? Without having to
Mm.
prove a point. Someone who is acting in clarity and creative flow. So rather than trying to stick to a schedule or stick to an agenda, they're so in tune with what is happening around them, the energy that is happening around them, and who they're with, that they're able to be flexible with that. Someone who is radiating light, right? And you can tell this, right? You go into a room sometimes and there'll be that one person that lights the room up because you know what they'll be doing that others won't be? They'll be just walking in their truth. They will just be
Yeah.
present and happy in that moment. And that's all it really takes initially. But Horus codes, they're stabilizers. And
Mm.
right now, the world is a very volatile place.
Mm.
There is so much polarization happening and constantly trying to balance out. And when there is one big thing occurring here, there is another big thing on the opposite end to balance it. But Horus codes are this stabilization where the center point is coming closer and closer to the middle, right? The balance point, I should say, is coming closer and closer to the middle. So instead of it seesawing like a pendulum swinging, it's just you're stable, you're grounded, you're rooted. And when you're rooted and you're clear and you're in tune, guess what happens? Flow, right?
Mm.
So they are the leaders in all things. They are the ones in service, but not being taken advantage of either, right? They're given from the
Yeah.
heart, but they're given from a full space, a full cup. And that's when someone's got those Horus codes activated, is they know what is respectful, what is right, and what is balanced.
And do you offer any of this as a course, or do you have any of this, the Horus initiations?
That is a great question. That is something to watch out for on my website in the near future. I'm going to be starting a series of webinars starting from October. And Horus is definitely going to be one of the first ones. When I did a Horus workshop 2 years ago, and it was in November time, and it was over the eclipse, and
Mm.
it was there for a specific reason because of the energetics. So I imagine it's going to be the November webinar will be the first one on Horus. But yeah, stay tuned on aliceheath.com for that one.
Okay, I'll be there. Um, so you're going to do an activation for us, Alice,
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm going to pass it over to you. I'll just mute my mic, so it'll be all yours.
Oh, thank you so, so much. Okay, so what I want to offer you here is just a really nice grounding and presence. This is going to be something that you can just relax into. It's not going to be too long, just a few minutes. But it's going to be powerful if you can just simply breathe and just be here with my voice right now. So the first thing I want to invite you to do is just get into a comfortable position. Maybe sit down or lay down and close your eyes. just let your hands rest in the center of your lap. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, just breathe deep into your belly. Steady, slowly. Take a nice deep breath in. And a nice slow exhale. Again, breathe in the beautiful light that is in the air around you. And release any heaviness that your body is holding. Feel supported by that breath, anchored to the earth beneath you. Perhaps you can even see golden roots, light flowing down from your spine, down through the soles of your feet, through your earth star, and deep into the crystalline heart of Gaia. Feel her love, feel her stability, her calm strength holding you fully. And then let that light travel back up through you, vertebra by vertebra, going up your spine, golden light, one by one. Every breath in, every breath out expands your golden aura until you feel that light reach the top of your spine, go through your crown, and pour out as though it's surrounding you in a gorgeous sphere of golden light. In this sphere of light, you find yourself at the foot of a temple. This temple is in a vast desert under a warm golden sky. You see the stone of the walls glisten. Carved falcons, sun discs, hieroglyphs and light language alive with living light. And you realize you're at the great temple of Horus. As the temple doors open slowly, they invite you in. And you step forward feeling the cool stone beneath your feet and the scent of fragrant incense in the air. Columns rise around you. You can see the lotus blossoms up ahead. Great statue of Horus himself, falcon-headed god, radiating golden light. You take a couple of steps forward until you find yourself at the foot of his statue. Take a deep breath, and you realize right there, in that moment, that this is not just stone, as the statue is alive and it moves, and Horus himself steps down alive and present. And he looks into your eyes, specifically your left eye. And as you feel him gaze eye to eye, you feel the eye of Horus awaken. Your inner sight, intuition, and truth starting to blossom and bloom and expand within you, feeling the expansion occur behind that left eye. Powerful yet gentle at the same time. And a soft golden light starts to glow in between both of your eyes, bridging both of the eyes. Horus switches his gaze. He now goes and looks into your right eye, balancing this attunement out. You feel the eye of Ra start to awaken. your clarity, your action, your courage. Golden light awakening, expanding, radiating, blossoming and blooming behind your right eye until these two merge together. A beautiful balance, yin and yang, lunar and solar, eye of Horus, eye of Ra, receptive and active. You feel a light just dance between both of your eyes right now, until once again it centers at the center of your brow, almost like a solar disk is imprinting in your third eye. Taking a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out, just settling into this new expanded version of your brow, of your third eye, perhaps even your whole head, your crown. Horus pauses for a moment and he places his hand upon your heart. And as soon as he does so, a great golden sun ignites within your chest, its warmth radiating through your body. Breathe it in. Feel the energy move all the way through your arms, through your hands, almost like every cell is awakening and remembering its original blueprint, its original gold print. Sovereign, whole, abundant, and luminous. This is the Horus Code. Clarity, discernment, balanced power, merging with that inner sun. Divine will in harmony with love. Now upon Horus's chest, he has a crystal carved into the shape of a scarab. The scarab is a very divine symbol for Horus. He wears it like a necklace. And he lifts this necklace over his head. And he places this scarab, this crystal scarab, in your right hand. You can feel its pure solar fire. The regality, the activation, you can feel its energy anchoring in the codes into your body. Almost like it's a key, a companion, a reminder of the light which you carry and the clarity with which you now walk. Horus smiles at you and he takes a step back, placing his hand upon his heart as he bows to you. And if and when you're ready, you acknowledge him, you thank him, you bow back. And he steps back upon the plinth where the statue was, and he returns into his stone statue. The temple around you begins to dissolve. Gently, beautifully, but the energy remains present. The energy remains bold. You find yourself returning gently back to your body with that golden sun still shining within your chest and within your brow, with that pure solar fire scarab beetle, that crystal scarab in your right hand, buzzing, humming. Feel the energy anchor within you. Feel it be contained and integrated with ease. and in divine orchestration, divine perfection. You know there is nothing you need to do. You know there is nothing you need to say. That every day, each and every moment will awaken and unfold just a little bit more energy in alignment with what you're ready to receive. Taking a nice deep breath in, just let your energy settle, let your shoulders relax and roll back a little bit as you start to find yourself returning to your body. That beautiful temple fully dissolved into a golden mist. And you're back again once more in your golden sphere of light. And as it starts to draw in, you realize that that energy was always within you, perhaps laying dormant, but now very present. Feel your feet on the ground, wiggle your fingers, feel the energy still hum within your palms. And if and when you are ready, start to return, open your eyes, and find yourself back here once more.